Has that come as something of a surprise to you?
Absolute shock. About 25 years ago, I had it going, but unfortunately I lost the safety valve, so I haven't had it going since.
Right. What's so clever is that the manufacturers produced this trolley for it, so it could be used on dry land too. That's very clever.
Yeah.
Now, the maker's name, we've got all the details here. This is the trademark here of a company called Gebrüder Bing of Nuremberg. They are very highly respected makers of toys. They started off in the latter part of the 19th century and they went right the way through until the Second World War. And they produced all sorts of very high quality tinplate toys, ranging from boats through to aeroplanes and cars, and really the whole range of toys. On the whole, I have to say toys for boys. I have to admit it. But this is, I suppose, exciting because of its condition. Fine, it has been fired, but it hasn't been fired that often. And very often, particularly with boats, you find that they've been abused rather than used.
Yes.
And they've lost a lot of paint, and they've sunk, and they've got terribly rusted, and then pulled up from the bottom of the lake, and so on. So this is really quite an extraordinary find. Also down here, we've got the original box, which I suppose explains why it is in such very good condition. The decks are beautifully painted and it has a lot of really quite detailed accessories on the deck here. You've got the ventilators and the hatch covers and the companionways and so on and so on. This is a good example in very fine condition, about 1910, 1912, and we'd be talking about between perhaps £8,000 and £10,000. Has that come as something of a surprise to you?
Absolute shock. If you had said £800, I would have believed it.
Now, I mean, this is top of the list of what collectors are wanting.
No, I can't believe that.
Would I lie to you?
No, you would. No.
Do you actually know what this is for?
No, it belonged to my mother-in-law and it stood in her kitchen for a long while.
Right. Well, it could be several things, but the most likely is it's actually for a post-chaise. It's actually for the post-coach.
Yes.
And it's kind of like an early railway timekeeper. It's in a little mahogany box with brass binding. It's got the signature of the maker, G. Gray, number 114, Fleet Street, London.
Yes.
And his name is also on the dial. A rather sweet little fold-down handle on the top. But the important thing is when you turn it over, it's actually got a back that comes off, which has a lock.
Yes.
So once the instrument was wound up and set to time, you locked it in the box, and whoever was responsible for it, like a night watchman, or in this case, I'm sure, somebody driving a coach, they couldn't get at it, alter the time, or mess with it. So if they had a schedule to keep, you could check it from this watch.
Oh, I see.
Now, the interesting thing also is that inside we'll probably find that the watch, it's never really been completed as a watch. And indeed, inside, frequently with these type of watches, the movement itself isn't finished. There we are. This piece here has not been pierced and engraved, and they're usually very elaborately pierced and engraved. So this was just simply a working instrument.
Yes.
Probably somewhere around about 1810, 1820. That's a fascinating thing. Well, it's more interesting than fabulously valuable. But I have to say that despite a little bit of damage on the dial, which could be fixed, but it's part of its wear and tear, it's still probably worth £500–700.
Is it really? Thank you.
Good thing to find in the kitchen.
Yes, yes. And I nearly didn't bring it.
Well, it made my day.
Good.
Were they mounted up by the family?
No, no. My mother bought that as a piece. She was a lady earning money in the late 20s, early 30s.
Sounds wonderful.
When there was a depression on. And so she bought small items that took her eye, and that was one of them.
Well, I think it's quite right to take her eye. I mean, it's an exemplary collection of Neapolitan cameos from about 1880. And they're the sort of cameos that were brought back from the Grand Tour and then mounted up in England in gold. And clearly these have not got as far as that. They're neoclassical, we can see that perfectly plainly, and they're carved from shell. Probably the greatest master at carved shell cameos was a man called Tommaso Saulini. And it's perfectly possible that one or two of these could be by him. They're of sufficient calibre. Maddeningly, the only way to determine them is to unset them from the frame and see whether they're signed on the reverse, so probably we will never know. In the centre here, we can see that there's a profile of Bacchus. His hair is dressed with grapes and vines, and he carries a thyrsos and a skin here. And here, a nasty squabble is taking place with a centaur and a lady bacchant who's obviously been drinking far too much at the party and is going to take it out on this poor centaur who's trying to escape her amorous approaches. And here we have Venus and Cupid, who are the most often represented in shell carvings of cameos. They're a charming, charming group, very high standard of workmanship. What did she pay for it?
I've no idea. No idea.
Very, very difficult to value, really. I think if they turned up as cameos in brooches, one would reckon them between 150 and 200 pounds each. So, goodness me, I don't know what the mathematics is. It looks as if the raw material is worth about 2,000 pounds, and as a decorative object, maybe a little bit more, 2,000, 2,500 pounds. Terribly difficult to value, rather unprecedented, wonderful to see. Thanks for bringing it.
Thank you very much indeed.